Guys, welcome to day 10 of December daily vlogmas, all that good stuff. So I did start the video off by making some sorrel. This is my first round of sorrel for the year. I am Jamaican. This is a traditional Christmas drinks. You know, you can drink it all year long, but normally this time of year we indulge in a lot of this. So brew it with some ginger, sorrel, let it sit for a little bit, and then I just added some sugar, use sugar substitution, and some rum. But there's no rum in this. I'm being good right now. There's no rum in this, but you can add some, and it's delicious. It's also healthy. Look it up. All right, we're gonna talk about the book I just finished, and then I'm gonna go into favorite tools that I started using this year and why. All right, Lucy by the Sea is a character. I feel like you do need to read the third book, which is Old Henry, because you get to really see the dynamic of them in this book. This is an older character. They are in their 60s and 70s, so they are older, have lived their life, had some issues with amongst themselves. Pandemic came. They decided, in this case, Henry is her ex-husband. She's also a widow, Lucy, to get her out of New York, to get pretty much his family out of New York while the pandemic happened. This is probably the first book I've read where the pandemic is happening, but it felt very so realistic. It was not over the top. It didn't go into this, you know, sensational situation. It just went to where you felt so real. It was so realistic of what was really happening and the thought process of people at the time when it was happening. In this case, he took them to Maine. And he took her to Maine, and there's a connection with Maine, which is why you do need to read the third book. And there's that mutual feelings that they have for each other. There's the friendship. There's a lot happening. She also has two daughters, and then there's that dynamic of how her relationship with the daughter versus his relationship. And so there's secrets exposed in this. Think about the pandemic and people who are spending so much time with each other, and how it was either a good thing or a bad thing, and you get to see it in this. You get to see those unresolved issues that's been happening with her kids, and even with Henry. And it's a beautiful story, but it felt so realistic, and I love that she keep doing this with Lucy character. Like, it felt like somebody you know. It's not a story that you're gonna feel like it's just out of this just sensational, and it's not realistic. It felt real, and I love that she keep making this character human. There is a particular moment in this book where she talks about what was happening in 2020. Like, this book is screaming 2020, and all the protests and all the other things that was happening. And there's even a thing that happened after the year after that is still a big deal. And she mentioned something in this that I felt like she was in the mind of those who believe certain things. And at first I was like, oh no, because you know I love Lucy, and I love how it was mentioned, but then it was also like wheel back the madness. I love that part. If you've read it, you will know what I'm talking about. There's so many different thought processes going on in our head in this, that it just was like, yeah, I thought about that too. Yeah, I thought about, but it gives her also, she is a white woman. She's an older white woman. So there's certain things that she's saying and discovering that I think is very typical. So at times I was like, yeah, she kept the character realistic. But it's such a really interesting story, and I'm looking forward to see where she goes, because I also felt like she was okay with the treatment she was receiving. I don't think there are times her family treated her well, and I think there's a lot of assumption because of the fact that how she reacts to things. And so they hide things from her, and then when they finally tell her, it's like they expect a certain reaction. I didn't like that part. The relationship she has with Henry made me also scratch my head a few times in this. Like, I felt like, don't want to give that away, but I felt a little weirded out about that part. but I understood why that happened. So there's that understanding from this storyline. But yeah, Lucy is Lucy. All right, did enjoy this though. All right, so with the sewing thing, I am discovering new tools. I'm discovering new tools that I've realized are very helpful and make sewing easier. So that is the key in this, making things easier. And so the first, I would say, out of everything, this is probably my favorite tool. It's not gonna seem like a big deal, but for me, it was like a game changer, and that's this scissors right here. So this scissors, because of how the tip is, it can get up in the nooks and cranny of whatever you're sewing. It's just amazing. And I love this. I never thought that I would love a tool as much as this. I use this now every time I sew. Like every time I sew, I'm looking for it. What also ended up happening is I bought it in a set. And it came with two pairs of different side of seam ripper. And this is another one that I've been using a lot of. This is perfect for like, I'm trying to do it so where you can get a good, this is perfect for certain things where you want to seam rip without damaging anything. It's tiny. Now I do have the full length one, which I do use sometimes, the full length one, but this smaller version, this is a must. It's a must. So I love this. I bought it in a set, so it came with that, and then it came with extra blade for if, you know, whenever this get dull. And then I also have this scissors, which I use as well. Now I use this a lot when I was making the bags, when I'm trying to get the excess seam allowance off. I use that. These were so good. I will link all of these. So, and again, none of these are expensive, so inexpensive, but worth having them in your tools. The next thing I got was also, I've used it a lot now, these button gauge. To get button gauge, where before I had to use my ruler to make sure that the buttons are the same amount, each button has the same amount of distance. I don't have to do that anymore. I use this now. This is so good, so good. And I use this all the time to do my buttonholes, and even when I'm doing my snaps, I use this all the time. This was so worth getting for this year, and it does have certain measurements on there as well. Hopefully it shows up on the camera, but this was so worth it. Next thing I got that to me, this is what I call beginners, because I definitely want to elevate and get a better one. But this is what I use to make my button covers. So I learned this year how to do button covers, and this is what it looks like, and the fabric goes inside and you make it. So I put like the vest that I made recently, and you can see what it looked like. I learned how to make this early on with this poncho looking top, and I had one button cover in the back, and I love it. I do find that the thicker the fabric, it can be more work, because the vest was very thick, but nevertheless I was so happy I learned how to do button covers. Then I got these tools, and I got different size. So these I will call, so I'm gonna do like a up close. So this is one size. This is another size. And this is another size. These are what we call hem, folded hem foots. And you put this on the sewing machine and it will give you a nice even fold hem. I have a smaller one that come in the kit that I got last year, and I saw these and I was like, oh, you got bigger ones. So I use these a few times in the summer, mainly on like woven fabric, definitely not knits. I haven't figured out how to do this on knit without having to deal with a sliding situation. But these were really good to use, and I like that they had different sizes, and I was so excited for them. Again, inexpensive. Also have this, which is another one that I like to use on them slippery thingies. Anytime I deal with a fabric that's slippery. And this controls your seam allowance. So you have even, and you don't have to worry about the fabric keeping moving, that kind of situation. You just have it on there and it's going to keep it there. So it's a magnet and you put it on the machine, and this one is really, really interesting. I will again link all of these. Then I decided, because I was buying what do you call this again? I was buying binder strips, and I saw this and I said, oh, I can make my own. So I got this actually early on in the spring, and it comes with a foot that I haven't actually used the foot, but it does come with a foot. So this is the foot. But what I got it for is the different side that you can make for your bodice. So if you want to do your own, there's different size. This is a 25 milliliter one. This is a 18, and let me grab so you can see what I am talking about. So this is a packet that I bought. So instead of buying this, I can use the leftover of a fabric I'm using and make my own instead of buying it. So that's what these tools are for. And these are what you will use. You will see sometimes used on the edge of inside of a garment, or sometimes you might see it from the outside. And this is what it is. You can buy it again, but why buy it when I can get the tool and make it myself? And it's a really nice tool. It came with the picker you can push through the hole. And maybe I'll do a video one day and show you how I use one. But there's tons of videos that you can check out to see how it's used. But it's worth having. I also learned how to do snaps. Oh my god. So I bought a kit and it came with a hammer, and it came with all these tools. So I'll come closer so you can see. So these are different kinds, different color, you know, silver, black, gray, browse gold. And these are the tools in the center. There you go. And it is tools that you will use to create the holes, and these are the other tools that you would need. They all have different purpose. And this one, and I used it when I made that dress, the velvet dress with the snaps. It was actually fun, and once I learned how to do it, I'm on a roll now. We'll be snapping on a whole bunch of stuff. So that was a really good kit that I bought, and you get a lot in here. I mean, I won't need to buy any snaps for a while. I also bought some clips. So I bought this container of clips, and I'm glad I did because I use this for all the bags, because of the fabric that it is, you don't want to put any pins through it. So I use the clips, and also the clips are really good for thick areas, like thick fabric, thick things you want to go over and you don't want to bore hole in. These are perfect. So I got a whole kit of jar of this, and it's really good. So the last thing I want to show you that I purchased this year that I can think of that was a game changer is these charks. So these are Taylor chark, and let me tell you, I'm learning to be a little gentle with them because I have used them, and it's supposed to be easy to take off, and it's still on there. Like I have to get a cloth, wet it, and try to get it off that way because it's like not moving. And it's a good thing and a bad thing. It's a good thing in terms of when I am cutting the fabric and I want to make sure I have my area where I'm supposed to gather, my area where I'm supposed to attach the other parts. Like you want all your dots, you want to make sure that they show up, because sometimes the one that I was using before, it was so faded that sometimes by the time I start doing anything, I can't do anything because the freaking chart disappeared. Not these. These were not going anywhere. So I was very happy that I bought this, and it's gonna last a long time. I have it in blue, white, and pink and yellow. So this is what the charks look like, and they're very sensitive, guys, because if you press too hard it will break. But again, it says so it's a blue one, so white and the yellow. So these are really nice Taylor charks, and they are necessary when you are sewing. Absolutely have to have your markers. So yeah, this is all the stuff that I purchased this year. I mean, I've been using a lot of other things, stuff that was given to me by my friend that I'm still trying to figure out, and there's some other stuff that I got that I'm like I haven't mastered yet, so it can't be in my favorite because I haven't mastered it yet. But these are the ones that I've used all the time, know how to use it very well, and it's very useful, and they are very beginner friendly. I think if you are going to start sewing in 2025, you definitely should pick these up. And again, they're inexpensive. I got all of them on Amazon. I will link them for you if you are interested in picking up all of these. I have a friend that she bought everyone. I gave her all the rundown, all of my favorite tools, and she got quite a few. I have one other friend who is also going to start sewing. She already got in our space together, so I definitely feel like some of this stuff is like good that I might put, like, hey, there you go. So I am going to end this here. I will see you tomorrow, and we will be working on my dress, my new dress. First time doing it, so we're gonna see how it comes out. It is considered average, but I just have to make sure it's gonna look good on my body. So we'll see how that works out. So I see you guys in the next one. If you are into sewing, how you feel about these tools that I show you? All right, see you in the next one, guys.